This is the second lecture file related to GIS Outputs, and this relates to Chapter 3 of your tutorial manual. We'll talk about interactive maps and then animated maps. So when we think about interactive maps, you might want to start by looking at an example. The purpose of an interactive map is to allow a map user to get immediate access to data and then be able to look for patterns, potentially make decisions, and then do diagnosis of the data to find out more information. So for example, detection, scanning an entire jurisdiction for problems and opportunities. So if you were a police officer, where are there large numbers of burglaries? Is there a large number of increase in burglaries expected? Where do you need to think about this? You can then diagnose this problem by going into the details for problem solving and analyzing patterns of leading indicator crimes that are predictive of future burglaries. General elements of decision support system mean that you need to keep the event data layers, usually the product or service demand, up to date. So in other words, the user needs up-to-date data that makes sense for the particular topic at hand. Provide enterprise-level choropleth maps for product and service demand level and change for detection and forecasting. So what this means is getting a product out into a mobile environment where a user can have access to it and use it to make decisions. It can also be done through desktop ArcGIS as well. Provide large-scale map layers with individual demand points for diagnosis so that the user understands where they are, get the information they need in order to put patterns together. The particular layers that need to go into this that they can turn on and off will depend on the use of the map. For example, with police mapping, you might want a layer that shows you where hospitals and clinics are. You may want to include schools and parks. You may want to include precinct boundaries and all kinds of other factors in addition to just streets and crime events. So for example, here's a map that's been symbolized and aggregated by census tract to look at burglary levels within the city of Pittsburgh. Then also there's a change option. The user could basically then in the map output, the interactive map, be able to click on various options and bring up another layer that shows you now change over time. And then going into current burglary and indicator crimes in more detail. The Identify tool can be very useful here. So you can get more information about the event and when it happened and how and all kinds of other things. Map animation basically means that you're taking a map and you're depicting change over time and then saving it as some kind of animated video format. So for example, you can create an animation of crimes over time by setting the time properties first. You'll be doing this in one of the assignments in Chapter 3. And there's a time slider window then that opens that you'll use to create the animation. It gives you options, and you need to think about the display speed. Is it slower or faster? And you might want to play with it a number of times and make a couple of different attempts of drafts before you decide on what your final output is going to be. And then you can play the animation to see if it comes together correctly. In this case, these are police calls that show recent crime points, current crime points. You combine the two layers and see where you have emerging, persisting, and extinguishing crime clusters. Next, I want to talk for a minute about ArcGIS Online. So historically, the way that people have done online mapping is by running it through ArcServer. And this means that people need a high level of GIS knowledge in order to run ArcServer applications. And Esri seems to recognize that this can be expensive to install and maintain. Another alternative is ArcGIS Online, which is a web-hosted service by Esri on Esri servers. So they take care of the server storage. There are free versions and subscription web service versions. The free versions are for individuals using a standard interface, but there are real restrictions on what you can do. Subscriptions allow customization of the look and structure of a map, and you can embed your map then into your organization's website. So for individuals, you can get a free account at Esri, create local map layers in ArcGIS for desktop and upload ArcGIS online to online for use in your online maps. You can author and provide access to map compositions in ArcGIS Online using your local and ArcGIS Online map layers, and then upload the map layer packages with the file with the data and symbolization from ArcGIS for desktop to your online account. Lakeland has an online organizational account which we'll be using in more depth in the future. You can then, here's a sample of ArcGIS Online with an individual map. So it has a slightly different look than what you'd see with desktop. Typically the online maps will allow you to pull up a base map and then begin to symbolize data from there. One of the most important things that you'll do in ArcGIS Desktop is to export maps. You've already started to do that in the first couple of chapters. There are a couple of different outputs we need to think about. One is a raster output, another is a vector output, and the other is a web-enabled output. So raster outputs would be bitmaps, TIFFs, and JPEGs, and then you would basically then select your own options to save the files. Vectors might be enhanced meta files, encapsulated PostScripts, Adobe Illustrator, and layer packages, and so on. And then good options for web would include JPEGs and PDF files. And the way that you do the output when you export a map is that you go to File and Export Map. So here we are in the data or layout view. You go to File and Export Map, and an interactive window will come up, and then you choose the type you save it as. And you'll also need to set the resolution for the map as well. One of the important things, of course, like always, is be aware of where you're saving it. What you get as a result is an image file. It's no longer geographically referenced. It's just a picture of your map. And so the type of map format you'll choose will depend on what you're going to do with it. But it's a great option to make a map document available to people who don't use ArcGIS, where you can get it into a different format. So here it is as a PDF. Then, in order to put it in Word or PowerPoint, you can simply copy and paste the individual map or map elements into your document, or you can use the insert functions in Word or PowerPoint and insert it as a picture. So those are some of the map layout options. In the previous slide presentation, we talked about map audiences and layouts, reports and graphs, and map scales. In this one, we went over interactive maps, map animation, ArcGIS Online, and the process of exporting maps. In Chapter 3, I think you'll start to get a sense as you go through the tutorials and the assignments that your experience so far doing all these many different tasks in ArcMap should start to come together. And you start to get a sense now of what the potential is of the software and of the thinking that goes behind it when you start to then make some of these map outputs. And that concludes the lecture for this section.